I think it already has. I mean, as far as I know, in America, I mean, I hear all the time people come up to me and say, "Oh my God, my daughter's reading Shakespeare for the first time. She's actually interested in it. It's actually something that's not so boring to them. You know, thank you, thank you, thank you." And that's the greatest feeling in the world. Thinking, you know, that wasn't my intention starting off on doing the film. I wanted to make a good movie first and foremost. But then when you hear stuff like that, I mean, it's inspiring. It's great. You know, truly, with every movie that I do, you always sort of get you get nervous about just the film on its own anyway, and then you bring these other added elements of, you know, probably my two favorite actresses in the world, doing scenes with them every day. You get nervous, but you have to sort of keep on your toes because, especially with Meryl, she'll throw you, you know, a lot of curveballs during a scene because she likes to mix stuff up. You got to concentrate, and you know, and they're both sweet, such great ladies. They're so great. It was unlike anything I've ever done before. I'm sort of more used to smaller, independent type films, and this was like, you know, my first gigantic sort of venture into that whole world.
And what was that like? I mean, so much has been written about, you know, problems on set.
Yeah, I mean, we heard a lot of that going on, but while we were there every day, sort of working every day, we didn't really pay much attention to it because it was sort of almost like this sort of gossip snowball that went out of control, and we just did our job. We knew the film wasn't sort of going to end, and I knew, and we just finished what we had to do, you know. Happy holidays, everyone.
Leo are together.
Where? Oh.
Leo and Leo!
I think everyone here, as well as I, is familiar with, you know, what it's like to be quote unquote hot in the business, and that it's such a sort of passing thing that never really is concrete, and it goes up and down in a person's career, and it's almost, you know, uncontrollable from the actor what happens to them. It's basically up to the public, but how am I dealing with it? You know, like any other human being would be dealing with it, and, you know, until I get questions like that, like I said, is the only time where, you know, I would, or anyone else would feel any different, so.
Not getting a nomination for Titanic, and, you know, there were so many other nominations.
Well, you know, it wasn't really an issue in the sense that I was more honored to be a part of a film like that I think reached so many people and, you know, almost became one of those cultural icon things. I mean, the film just has gone beyond anyone's expectation of what it could be. So I was just more honored to be a part of the movie than anything else. So it didn't really bother me. How did it feel to be king? It was something that was really exciting to me. Not only playing this dual role and having two different characters to play, but for the first time playing, you know, a venomous king and somebody with basically an evil streak in him and a backbone, somebody that I could sink my teeth into. Was really exciting, and, you know, but first and foremost, it was the whole story and being involved with all the people that were part of the film. You know, I mean, it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. In a positive way, it's given me a lot more opportunities, you know, more so than ever before, and from a financial aspect, it's been great. And, you know, it's changed my life in that it changes a lot of people's attitudes towards me and around me. But hopefully I'll be able to maintain, you know, being myself.
This way, sir. Leo, you get some right here, please. We'll wait all day for you. Leo, right here. Leonardo, this way, please. Leonardo. Leo, straight ahead, Leo. Good to see you. Look left. No, I don't like these things anymore, to be quite honest. I like to see the movie, but this stuff, I don't think it just spoke to me, you know, thematically. I thought it said a lot about, you know, how the whole world is becoming sort of westernized and we've made it stuff like that. I think it's really relevant to what's going on today. I like, you know, he's this courageous character who really is, in every sense of the word, a traveler. You know what I mean? He's not a tourist. He's not looking for something pre-packaged, and pre-digested for him. He's looking for, a submerged reality. He wants to connect with something on a core level, and I really identified with that, and I identified what he's trying to escape from. I think everything. He lives in a world so filled with comfort, where everything is, already thought out for him, and he's trying to escape that.
I mean, you're really busy and you're always in the spotlight as well. I mean, can you see yourself doing something like that just to get away from things?
I have done, and I do, the fortunate thing is that I pretty much go wherever the hell I want to go, which is good, and I still do that,
And what's your notion of paradise?
My idea of paradise?
Yeah, your idea of paradise.
I think it's a false concept, frankly. I don't think there is any real paradise.
Gotta
in the
go
world.
inside now.
Like they say in the end of the movie, a line that I really love at the end of the movie: you adapt, you carry on to the situation. And I'm a lucky person. I've had a lot of great opportunities, especially in my career, and I have nothing to complain about. I mean, I'd any day take the cons over what great things have happened in my life from it all.
Ese día se dio cuenta que están mirando para acá.
Leonardo, please! Leonardo!
Là, t'as pas de photo? Il peut pas.
Pas sto figlio della
My palms were sweaty at first, but I swear by the end of the 20 minutes, I was getting chills down the back of my, and that's just, being able to have it's like a dream come true for me, and as it would be for any actor to, work in a Martin Scorsese epic and see 20 minutes of it and have people get titillated and excited about it. But, it was entirely because of Mr. Scorsese's editing, but I really legitimately got a chill down my spine by the end of it, and I felt the energy in the audience. This is a true time in history that people just don't know anything about. Satisfying, yeah, I would say that.
And how do you think it will compare to Titanic? Do you think it'll put Titanic in the shade?
Well, there's no boat that sinks, or no big tragedy. Like, it's a different type of film, but it has all the sort of romantic elements that Titanic does, but it also has, high intense drama, a lot of violence, it's an unbelievable story. And the greatest thing about it, and the thing that I like in movies a lot of the time, is when I don't know anything about it, and I didn't know anything about this sort of time during the draft riots in New York, and it's really symbolic of what our country's made of.
You've been here for a few days. How would you say the French nightlife scene compares to the nightlife scene back home?
I don't know, I'm staying in my hotel.
Leo, this way, please.
Les États-Unis le 25 décembre. C'est donc un cadeau tout particulier que nous fait Martin Scorsese ce soir, puisqu'il est très jaloux. Il aurait bien voulu avoir les premières images du film. Elles seront pour le Festival de Cannes. Merci, Monsieur Scorsese. Titanic, Leonardo DiCaprio au sommet des marches, aux côtés de Cameron Diaz. Une photo.
I'm very proud of this film. It was one of those characters that really jumped off the page, and for any young actor, it was a dream role to play. And I got to do it with one of the best in Steven Spielberg, and we shot the film extremely fast, which was very reflective of the real man's life. And he was constantly throwing me into a lion's pit and having me squirm my way out as an actor. So it was great experience. I'm very pleased. He was my first choice to play my father. I've always, ever since I started my career, wanted Christopher Walken to play my dad. I had some connection to that for some reason, and as soon as I saw this role, I recommended that Steven hire him, and we had a meeting with him, and Steven loved the idea, and he knocked the role out of the park. Well, I haven't been nominated yet, But you know, I would be absolutely, you know, honored if that were to happen. I mean, I think anyone sitting here would lie and say they wouldn't be. So if that happened, that'd be fantastic. Absolutely.
In Johannesburg, from local governments, talking about what we can do at home, in our neighborhoods, in our communities.
Hello, everyone. Speak out about what's really going on. My purpose here is quite simply to urge President Bush to attend the Johannesburg World Summit on Sustainable Development. Mr. Bush, we're asking for your support to be the president that looks towards the future. We have seen increasing evidence of climate change, and every major scientific study says that temperatures are rising. 76 nations have ratified the Kyoto Protocol, including all of Europe and Japan. But the U.S. sadly has not, despite the fact that we're the biggest economy and the largest polluter. President Bush, please go prepared to join the vast majority of nations in constructing a concrete plan to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Let's reduce our dependency on oil, foreign and domestic. Let's develop a global politics that accelerates the transition to clean fuel cells and sustainable energy from renewable sources. So please. Last week I heard about this. I mean, I was actually considering going out to Johannesburg myself to be in some of the meetings, make a statement there, because it's sad that, you know, in the United States, these kinds of things just don't get enough press. They don't get enough media attention. And you go to Europe or something like that. I've been in England and, you know, in other countries in Europe, and it's a big issue. It's a big issue why the United States is the last vote that hasn't gone through to actually, you know, ratify some of these issues. And we being the biggest superpower in the world, and also the country in the world that produces 25% of the world's emissions, I think we have a responsibility to be there.
Leo, right here. Thanks, Leo, I can't see.
I certainly think that you know, this story of this imposter would not be possible in today's society. I mean, there was no centralized computer system back then to catch criminals. It was a different code of ethics at the time. People believed you when you put on the right costume and you had the right attitude and the right credentials. You could get away with a lot more. So certainly this story wouldn't be possible in today's day and age. And of course, I love the stories that my parents tell me and that I read and see on television of that time. It would have been a great thing to have seen. Doing what I can, because it is an issue that I think is a global one in every sense of the word.